Batman Annual number 2, Tom King writing, Lee Weeks and Michael Lark on art. Uh, I had no idea what this was going into it.
Mm-mm.
It just was like, okay, it's an annual. Tom King, I think I saw he said on Twitter that, oh, it is important to the overall main thing that's going on. It's not just a
Yeah.
random side story or anything like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. Because it's one of the things that bothers me about annuals sometimes. Is I hate when I feel like, because sometimes it can be very good standalone things, but it just kind of bugs me where I'm like, oh, I kind of wish this was just a main chapter of the story.
Yeah, there's usually three takes on it. There's the we're just gonna make this an oversized issue and tie it in like they did with Supergirl, right, during
Mm.
the Emerald Olympus stuff. Or they'll make it just strictly standalone, like some of the ones that are gonna be they talk about later. Or they do this that is part of the overall story but not exactly necessary. It feels like extra. Uh, and in a good way. And this is how I prefer my annuals to be because it's they're easy to file away in my comic boxes. You don't have to slot them in the story. You can keep them in their own section. But yeah, this issue, Michael Lark, seeing him draw Gotham again
Mm.
was fantastic because I think the only stuff of his I've read at DC was Gotham Central. So very, very nice. But it was a bit distracting when I got to his section because it automatically looked like Lazarus. And I was just like, oh, wait, whoa, weird. Okay, no, where's Trevor? Oh, wait, no, wrong book.
Yeah.
So,
Worth mentioning, though, Lee Weeks' art is also fantastic. Like
oh, yeah.
the art throughout is gorgeous.
Have you gone back and read the Elmer Fudd?
I haven't, no.
Okay, because that was the same team. Lee Weeks did the Elmer Fudd stuff. And there's a bit of an homage to that here, which I
Oh,
thought was
okay.
fun.
Uh,
Uh,
so the plot of this then is it's for the vast majority it's a flashback story about when
mhm.
Batman and Catwoman were first kind of meeting. Not maybe not their first meeting per se, but kind of in the early days when they're first sort of
Yeah, they're
entangling.
familiar with each other. The boat or street incident has happened, and
Yeah, because
they have a playful relationship.
they're already arguing about it, so
Uh huh.
that's already happened. But she's like stealing the Batmobile, and Batman's pissed about it. Alfred's making these catty lines, and then
I love King's Alfred. I
oh,
like
it's
the
great.
next annual. I want to be about the day in the life of Alfred Pennyworth, and it's just him going around being sassy to different members of the Bat family. Like, here's my $5 now. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so basically she keeps coming back to the Wayne Manor and keeps stealing or at least breaking in to different things.
Yeah, it goes back to their first the rooftops.
Hmm.
Is why does she run? And it's because Batman has to chase her, and that's their entire relationship right now. And I felt like Batman's learning how to flirt almost because at first he's taking this super seriously, and he's super pissed. Like Catwoman's breaking into the manor. She knows who he
Yeah,
is.
because I love that page where he realizes she's here again. He's like, oh, the alarms! She's broken through again, and he jumps up
Yeah,
off the couch in his pajamas and he's running for
yeah,
her.
yeah,
Which leads to that fantastic because she's called the cops in advance so that he can't chase
yeah,
her because
yeah.
he can't show that he's Batman in front of the cops.
Right.
So we
Out
have
running out of Wayne Manor.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we have that glorious full page spread of her jumping out in the rain with the cops in the
Yep.
foreground. It is beautiful stuff.
Yep.
But no, it's really great. But yeah, so she keeps breaking in, and she has that thing where she steals she almost steals the mother's
The
pearl.
single pearl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the safe, and she doesn't take it because it says it's his mother's, and she gives it back. She still runs, of course. She still teases him
Yeah.
because that's who she is. Uh, and it's
Yeah, this was kind of a perfect compliment to the last issue of Batman
mm,
because of I mean I wasn't here to talk about that, but like her whole conversation with Talia and why she loves Bruce, that's all summed up here just without the amount of dialogue. Like Weeks and King really work together here just to show like their relationship in a nutshell is she runs, he chases, he gets upset, she laughs, and that's kind of where they're at even now. Even throughout the what we've seen with the I Am Suicide stuff, she still kept a sense of humor while he was being super serious. So
mm. Uh, no, and she keeps leaving every time she breaks in. She leaves a mouse, and Alfred's
I
getting
love
getting no pun intended, but he keeps getting ratty because he's having to take care of more mice. Like, if she leaves
yeah
another mouse, tell her to leave money to feed the bloody things.
Yeah, and I love too that when he finally catches up with her, she's like, "How would you figure this out?" And he's like, "Oh, well, the droppings leads back to the lead paint in this building." And she's like, "Mouse poo, really?" And never thought I would hear the words coming from Batman going, "Mouse poo,
Yeah.
really?"
Let's not
Like,
gloss over that double page spread of them standing on the rooftop in the rain. There it is
mhm.
again, rooftops. There you go. See,
Yeah.
all comes back.
I was so critical of King at the beginning, but he definitely writes for the long game. Because between, Kite Man, hell yeah, and that whole subplot, and now the Batman Catwoman relationship, it's making me love Batman. I never thought I would say that. You guys heard it here. Connor's missing out. But it's been a very long time since I made Batman the first thing I read, you know? And now it is every week. Well, every week it comes out anyways. So, yeah, it's hooey.
Man, I'm just looking at because he chases her after that double page spread, and like, he ends up losing her. He's standing there in the rain, and he's shouting out "cat" like at the top of his lungs in the rain. It's so atmospheric.
Yeah.
Of course, that's before he finds her back at her place with the mouse poo. And again, as you said, he's smirking as he says, "Yeah,
Yeah.
mouse poo."
Yeah.
Of course, and this is their first kiss, I imagine, given the context.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can infer that maybe, because you could also infer that maybe. Oh wait, where's it at? Because there's that other one. I'm
Not
cycling through.
Yeah, it's not when they almost kiss at the safe. It's later on. It's
Yeah,
after
okay,
they're chasing
gotcha.
the rain.
Yeah. The single page spread.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
And she's spilling the wine behind her.
Yeah.
Also,
That's a
little
great-
touch that the cat at the bottom of the page is rubbing up against Bruce's leg.
Yeah.
Nice little touch.
Marking him. Yeah, well, it's the cat saying you're mine, and that's kind of what Catwoman's done. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a really so up to this point. It's very moody. It's very atmospheric. It's a very fun examination, kind of like linking back to that rooftop stuff of their playful nature and her teasing him. And then at the end of this, they start fighting about the boat in the street. How did we meet? And it transitions to a possible future where they're old. Right? So
Yep.
they're old and grey. They don't actually say what age they are
No,
specifically.
it just says later, and you can tell that they're aged.
Yeah.
They both got some wrinkles, gray hair, and that's
Walking
where
stick.
Michael Lark's art. Yeah, that's where Michael Lark's art comes in, and yeah, it's just there's like no superheroics here. It's
No.
all just interpersonal, and yeah, you find out one of them's sick.
Yeah, as it goes on, you realise it's Bruce who's dying. And it's just it hurts, and also I love the touch that they have a daughter named Helena Wayne.
Helena?
That is so cool. Because for
Well,
those
and
of you,
she's basically in Batwoman suit. Like
she's in Batwoman's suit, but she's got blue hair. It's badass. I want this book, this Batwoman of the future, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Call it what you want.
This is again DC versus Marvel growing up, or coming up reading comics was there were Elseworlds that would play with this stuff after this. You know what I mean? Like if it was there enough, and hopefully if the demand's there, like we can get, even if it's just a one shot.
Yeah, for the new folk who don't understand why we're giggling and awing at Helena Wayne is because in previous continuity on Earth 2, I believe, she was Huntress, like Helena Wayne, like Huntress was the daughter of Batman and Catwoman. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
So having this say, no, in the future they're going to have a daughter named Helena, and maybe she won't be Huntress exactly, but she'll be something.
No.
She'll be a Bat character.
But even you look at her cowl and it's similar to Huntress, like the build of it with her hair coming out. It's not quite Batwoman, even though it looks like Batwoman's,
Costume,
her logo, even like her symbol,
or
with
even
the red.
just the gloves and the like. It's the red in all the right places. It's the head that's different.
And so and it's also similar to Catwoman. You know what I mean? Like the way that it looks. So it's the perfect blending of the two. And yeah, so it plays with that older continuity.
But she's the one answering the signal, which I kind of like. Is that it's passed on to new people.
Yeah.
And of course, it'd pass on to their kid if the kid wanted to do it. Makes
Well,
complete
and
sense.
also that's always been the thing, like with The Dark Knight Returns, is Bruce can never quit. But here, King creates this future where, he's married to Selena, and maybe he hasn't quit fully, but he's still probably helping like Batman Beyond, but it's no longer his war. He's created a family. He has I don't want to say disciples, so it's too harsh, but he has the Bat family, and you see them at one point, and it was fun to look at older versions of these characters.
Oh, it is, and I think I love that he says to her, "Hey, when I'm gone, go to Barry, go to the Flash, and let him find a different Batman for a different universe to look after you." Like I like that idea that he knows someone who can go and he doesn't want her to be alone. And then I think the most heartbreaking scene in the book though is when he's trying to lift the weights in the cave, and Selena comes down and he drops them. And it feels like she's watching him get old and weak, and it's just because Bruce is typically such a strong character. He's like the machismo kind of goal in life, without going too far with it, but he is kind of that goal.
Well, he broods. It's the one thing in Batman I relate to is him going, no, I can do this, and you can't do it, and you don't want to show vulnerability, so you're just like, I'm going to keep trying, and that's usually when you get hurt. And there's another line that we skipped over that I wanted to talk about, where in the beginning part, him and Catwoman are talking, and it's kind of when she breaks him down. She's asking, you've known since the beginning and still you let me, why? And Batman goes, sometimes I like being alone, and then I hate everything because of it. And that's the one line that I can finally be like, I understand Batman. Because that's my eternal dilemma is sometimes I just want to be left alone, but then when I'm left alone, I'm like, well, they all just left me alone, And that's Batman in a nutshell. It's when he's brooding and he's just like, well, I'm going to sit here and be miserable because my parents. But Catwoman brings out this other side in him where she's like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to let you be by yourself because I'm going to make you chase me. And I just, man, that panel hit, and it hit me right in the heart light. And that's where I was like, God damn it, Tom King. And then you get to the end, and you see him, not be able to lift the weight, and he's vulnerable, just like he was in that and she's right there.
Yeah,
and then he's in the bed.
There's a nice side to it where he's only not alone at the end. At least, I mean, obviously to have his Bat family there, sure, but he's only not alone at the end because she kind of forced him not to be alone earlier on. Yep. Like if she hadn't done this, if she hadn't pursued him and made him chase her, he would be alone at the end. At least as far as like a relationship would be concerned, anyway. So it's a really nice idea. But and then the final moment is she finds the note saying that he still loves her in the old Batmobile.
Oh man.
Yeah, there's feels were had
with a new little kitty, Yeah. Oh man.
Life moves on. Yeah. No,
that's it.
Typically, annuals tend to be my least favorite things in comics. Mm-hmm. Not always, but mostly because they usually do feel separate or because they feel tacked on just to have an extra book out in the 5th week. Which is why I like it when it typically ends up being like, oh no, it's just the next chapter in whatever story we're doing. This is kind of a different touch for me, where it's just kind of a perfect companion to what's going on. And no, this was extremely good.
Yeah. Again, coming off of that last issue of Batman with Talia and Selena, and it tells a cohesive story. But had you not read this, and you jump to the next part, it's fine. Like slotting this into like a trade later, you just put it at the end. You don't have to mix it in, and I kind of like that about it. So, and it was just a wonderful issue between the art of.
Funny thing is, it probably will go in between issues just because it happens to be between 2 arcs anyway. But that's just kind of coincidence more than anything else. Yeah,
but between Week's art and then Lark's art, and again, Lark comes in and doesn't do really any superhero stuff. It's relationship stuff.
To be fair,
coming off.
That's what he's really good at. He's good at the character reactions, emotions, the sequential stuff in that sense. Because Gotham Central, it's mostly faces reacting to things and talking.
And that's where I was going to get to is for all the great action sequences he does, again in Gotham Central and in Lazarus, the stuff that I always remember from there are the emotional beats.